All right, good evening, everybody. This is Patty McGee from The Hydrated Life, coming to you tonight to talk about unforgiveness. But first off, I am a life coach, a mentor, a motivational speaker, massage therapist, and author of the book Hope and Inspiring A to Z Guide for Cancer Patients, Survivors, and Caregivers. And about a month ago, I was asked to do a live on unforgiveness. And I wanted to make sure I put it together the best that I could, that I did some research on it, and that hi, Linda Dunn Ostrander, you're my number one fan, girl. Thank you for your continued support. But so I was asked to do this, and I took my time preparing it because I wanted it to be something that you can take away and begin to change your life immediately with it, but to recognize that you don't have to carry unforgiveness with you for the rest of your life. And someone may ask, well, who am I to tell you you got to let go? Well, I can honestly tell you that I had unforgiveness of myself for 37 and a half years from something that happened back when I was 13 years old. And I wish I had somebody that had gotten a hold of me and helped me at that point in my life. Because not that I've had a bad life or anything like that, but I carried that with me, and my life could have taken a different turn. I could have done different things with my life, but here I am. I'm where God wants me to be, and that is, talking to you now, and just making sure that I can help others move forward in their life who have had disease, illness, unforgiveness, anything that you hold into your heart. So, and it doesn't come easy. I wish I could say to you that unforgiveness and letting go is just this magic pill that just happens. Now, with that said, I have been truly blessed. I was saved driving down the road drunk. Most of you know my story that are on here and will be watching this. I looked in the rearview mirror and I said, Lord, if I don't get a DWI tonight, I'll never drink and drive again. And from that night forward, I pretty much quit drinking and started changing my life for the better. And the Lord put all kinds of people and things in my path to help me succeed. And that's why I'm here today on these lives, because of that night. And from being saved led me to forgiving myself. So there's two types of forgiveness. And one is of yourself and one is of others. And everything that I've looked at, researched, and forgiving ourselves is the hardest part for things that we have done. And that's what I carried mostly for me. I was good at forgiving others, but I could not forgive myself. So I'm going to start there tonight and talk to you about how to let go of what you're holding on to. And for me, it was little things along the way of my life. And as things happened later on, I guess that's how I forgave myself. Because, a good example is when I was very young, I was a heavy drinker. We all know that. But I gave alcohol to a 2-year-old, and I carried that with me. I didn't give alcohol to a 2-year-old. 2-year-old had a bottle of beer and I didn't take it away and I watched him drink it. Okay. But here and there, I didn't stop it. And other people were giving him alcohol too. But I was the one that carried it with me until I saw him at age 30 something and saw that he turned out okay. And then my unforgiveness of myself for letting that happen, especially after being a mother, I let it go. But I carried it with me for many years. And, those are the things that we have to learn to let go of sooner. Okay. For ourselves, the things that we've done. I kiddingly joke to people that, I've overcome the 10 deadly sins of the Bible, thou shalt not do this and that and blah, 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 blah. Because, I jokingly say I've done them all and pretty much have. So forgiving myself of them was hard. It was incredibly hard, because although I could forgive myself to a degree, when I saw people, it reminded me of them. And that's what you have to work on, is when you go back out into this world, after you've forgiven yourself, that you don't let people and things take you back to them. And there's still things today that I have to work on with my spiritual counselor to help me continue to overcome them. And, this topic isn't an easy one for me, but it's about walking in love with yourself, first of all. And knowing that whatever you've done, if you haven't repeated it over and over and over again, forgive yourself. If it was a one-time thing, forgive yourself, because it may have just been where you were at in your life. I was so immature. I was so young. I took on responsibilities that I should have never have taken on. And I didn't learn that until I got a counselor, a spiritual counselor, because she has helped me shift things from my soul to my spirit, and to go back to who that young person was, and to forgive that person, and to talk to that person. And it's helped me move into who I am today, that I don't see that ugly part of me anymore. But after I got saved in 2013, in 2014, I was at a friend's house, and I was standing in her kitchen, and she said to me, she said, "Patty, a sin is a sin. God forgives them all. Whether you've murdered somebody or you committed adultery, it doesn't matter. A sin is a sin, and God forgives you." And I was blessed that day again, because all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm forgiven. Something clicked in me. And from there, I could move on and move forward. So you need to ask yourself, what have you done in your life that is unforgivable? And take responsibility for it, but don't carry it with you. Let it go. You are not a bad mother. You're not a bad sister. You're not unlovable. You're not any of those things. And I can speak from that, because nobody was able to get to me except God. And then he put the people and the things in my place. There's 2 commandments that we are to live by: to love God with all of our heart, and to love others as he has loved us. And when you can walk in that, you should be able to have forgiveness for yourself in anything that you have done. Okay? It's a very challenging process, but it's an essential part of moving forward and living a fulfilling life. And so many of us at my age, I'm going to be 60 this year, carry these burdens with us, and we allow other people to speak things into our lives that keep reminding us of who we were versus who we are. And we're not going to be perfect. There's nobody perfect in this world. So the people even telling you and reminding you of what you've done are not perfect people. So there's some steps to take in forgiveness. The second part, I should say, before we move on, is that it's unforgiveness of others. And that one I've been able to do all of my life. I really can't hold anything against anybody. One story of mine about having forgiveness for someone was back in Oneida when Leo Matsky was the mayor. And him and I we didn't get along. We butted heads. We did not just get along. I'm not going to go into details and what happened and all of that. But it got to the point where I had to bring a tape recorder into meetings and stuff like that. It got really nasty. And I ended up leaving the city of Oneida to go to massage school, and was instrumental in not getting him reelected at that next campaign. And I was feeling pretty proud about myself, yeah, he got what he had coming and stuff like that. But after I left the city and went to massage school and started changing and everything, I met him in Burn Dairy, and we hugged each other. And somebody saw it. Somebody in the community saw it that knew what was going on. And they had contacted me through Syracuse.com, some chat thing. I forget what it was called. And they're like, yeah, you're out there and you're saying all this stuff. And then I see you in Burn Dairy embracing them. And I'm like, that's what forgiveness is for, And I ended up asking him to put his cancer story in my cancer book. In this here, he has his story, because neither one of us carried that burden with us afterwards. We left it at work rather than dragging it on and on and on. And, that's how you have forgiveness of others. It doesn't mean that you're going to go sit down at a dinner with them or, invite them over to your house. But forgiving others is tough. And, I have people that I don't even know what I've done to them, but obviously, they don't speak to me anymore. So I don't know, but you have to walk away from that, and you have to say that's on them, because if they can't communicate to you what you've done, you have to let them go. Okay? So it comes down to walking in love and loving yourself so that you can live happily in a fulfilling life. So some steps to help you overcome unforgiveness, okay? You have to acknowledge the pain. It's no different than the pain of losing somebody in your life. It's no different than the pain of getting let go from a job, losing a child, losing, something very meaningful to you. Breaking up with your spouse. You have to acknowledge that pain so that you can work through it. And it doesn't mean minimizing or forgetting the hurt that was caused, but instead it's about acknowledging the pain and choosing to let go of the negative emotions that come with it. Because the negative emotions are what cause the disease and the illness in you. And I'm living proof of that. I hated myself for 37 years, and my breast cancer came about because of that. It's not because it was genetic. It's not because of any other reason. 2 people in my family, we've done genetic testing, and my breast cancer is not genetic. And so you have to acknowledge that pain. And unfortunately, it comes at many different times. Many different people. We hurt each other. And I can tell you firsthand, as a heavy drinker, I've hurt people. I've tried to correct all my rights or all my wrongs and make them right. And if I owe you an apology, please reach out, because I'd love to hear from you. If there's something that you're holding on to that I can help you with in overcoming unforgiveness of me or anybody in this world. So acknowledge that pain. Okay. And sometimes that pain is, I'm not a good mom. I don't do enough for my kids. I could have said I didn't do enough for my dying mother, but I knew I did. Okay. But I didn't have any any unforgiveness for my mom dying. I did the best I could do with her. But, we hold on to those things in our lives. Maybe unforgiveness of not being a good coworker. Okay. Practice empathy, trying to understand the perspective of the person who hurt you, or yourself if you're the one who caused the harm. This can help you see the situation from a different perspective, and it may make it easier to forgive. If you can sit down with the person, look at your family. And, I have there's 5 of us, 5 siblings, and each one of us has a different perspective on my parents and on each sibling. And I speak to all of them. Another sibling speaks to all of them. Another sibling speaks to 3 of them. Another one speaks to 3 of them. Another one only speaks to 2 of them. So, and to be honest, we weren't brought up that way, to hate people. My mom didn't hate anybody, or if she did just didn't say it. She held a lot in. Let's put it that way. She took on a lot. But try to understand the perspective of that person. And everything I've learned these last 10 years came from going to church, came from being saved, going to church, being delivered. I don't care. It came from there, because I was not this person 10 years ago. I couldn't have talked to you about unforgiveness for anything. Okay. It's the gift I was given once I surrendered that part of me to God. And so I have empathy on people. And I'm the one that hurt myself by holding on to all this stuff. And just try to communicate with people so you can get an understanding of who they are and what their direction is coming from. Because it may be something that you don't even know. I held a lot against my dad throughout life. When he died, I loved him. He loved me. We got along very well. There was no hard feelings. But I had to overcome his father wounds in these last 10 years. And I had to print out a picture of me with him holding me, his arms around me. But when I look back on my life, it was so much more than just what I harbored. It was, guppies being born, and banana splits on Friday nights, popcorn for special treats, playing cards, snowmobiling. There was so much more good in this than what I was holding on to. And if you let go of what you're holding on to so you can see the broad picture, that's where your healing comes in. So practice empathy. Thirdly, take responsibility. If you're holding on to unforgiveness toward yourself, it's important to take responsibility for your actions and learn from those mistakes. And I mentioned this at the beginning. If you're still doing it, then you don't feel any empathy. You don't feel that you're doing anything wrong. So you can't let go of that unforgiveness. But if you take responsibility and you're not doing those actions anymore, you are forgiven. God says so in the Bible. If you're walking with him, you're forgiven. Doesn't matter what the world says, you're forgiven. And it doesn't mean you can go and do it and ask for forgiveness again and do it and ask for forgiveness again. No. It's you. Once you're saved, I can honestly say, once I was saved, I started walking my life in a completely different way. My life changed. I didn't go back to those old ways. I have not been drunk in 10 years. And those of you that know me, it was a weekly thing. It was weekly, sometimes daily. So you are a different person, okay? But you got to take responsibility in order to move forward with a sense of purpose and commitment to making things right. You have to forgive yourself. You have to take that responsibility. Not carry it with you, but say, yes, I did it. I'm moving forward. I'm done. Love yourself, right? Practice self-compassion. If you're struggling to forgive yourself, try to practice self-compassion. Okay? Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend. Think about that person that comes to you. I was talking to a friend of mine these last couple of weeks. She's battling a few things in life, and she's talking about other people in her life. She goes, I was there for them when they were going through things, but now they're judging me for now what I'm going through. And we forget those things. We forget how people have helped us or we have helped them. And then when it's our turn, we've got to have self-compassion, because not everybody's going to understand. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they said, you do you, I'll do me. And I was like, wow, we're going to hold on to this forever rather than just let it go. Do what's right. But when they're not walking in the Lord, when we're not walking with God, when we're not walking in forgiveness, we can't see that. We can't see how hard our hearts have hardened. We can't see how much hatred we're walking in and how much anger we're walking in, because it's an everyday occurrence. So try to create some self-compassion and treat yourself kinder. Okay? Focus on the present. Instead of dwelling on the past hurt and resentment, try to focus on the present moment. Practice mindfulness. I just started meditating with the mindful blindfold, and life has been so much easier since then. I can see colors. I can see things in my meditations. Find that place of peace and happiness inside of you to help you. So unforgiveness, can lead to bitterness, anger, resentment, which can ultimately harm yourself and others. Okay? Forgiveness is a choice that we must make, and that it's essential for maintaining healthy relationships and a peaceful heart. If you're a mother, think right now how often you have forgiven your children. No matter what acts they've done, no matter what they've said to you. Think about it. Think about how much you've forgiven them. And why can't you forgive others that same way? Because you walk in love with your children. Walk in love with others. Keep that peaceful heart. Okay. We've got to get rid of the bitterness, the rage, the anger, the brawling, the slander, the malice. And we've got to find kindness, compassionateness with one another, forgiving. It's letting go of those negative emotions. In the Bible, they call them fruits of the flesh. Okay. It's the negative characteristics and behaviors that are a result of living according to the desires of this world. Okay. They manifest, adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, idolatry, hatred, wrath, strife, envying, murder, drunkenness, any of those types of things that you need forgiveness from. Those are fruits of the flesh, okay? Hatred, quarreling, jealousy, fits of rage, selfish ambitions, envy. They're all parts of you that you don't have forgiveness for, that you need to forgive yourself so you can move forward. If you're a Christian, you know that God sent his only son and he took our transgressions, our inequities. He forgave us of all of our sins. The Bible lists many scriptures on forgiveness. And it's important for you to look at that and see where you're walking and where you're not walking in it, and ask God to help you overcome it. Last step that can help you overcome forgiveness is considering coaching. Okay. And I speak this from my heart, from somebody who has invested in themselves for the last 10 years. Most of you would probably vomit if you knew what I put into myself to get healing, so that I can walk in this world happy and peacefully with a kind heart, in love with myself and with others. And it doesn't mean that every day is perfect. Yesterday, I had the patience of a gnat at work, and I said that to one of my coworkers, and he said, "You want me to go get the fly swatter and knock it out of you?" And I'm like, yeah, the last 2 weeks have been a struggle. But coaching is an effective way to help you overcome these things that you're holding on to. It can clarify an issue for you. Okay, can help you clarify the situation and identify the specific reasons why you're struggling to forgive. Just talking about your feelings can help bring clarity and understanding. It can help you identify your limiting beliefs, and we all have limiting beliefs. I've been working with a life coach for almost 2 years now. And what I went to her for in the beginning was just to get my business going. But when she noticed I had limiting beliefs, she's like, all right, we got to take a step back. We got to work through all of this before you can step into this, because otherwise you're just going to stay stagnant. So we did the hard work. Okay. Unforgiveness can be rooted in limiting beliefs that another person doesn't deserve forgiveness, or that forgiving means condoning a bad behavior. And that's not true. You're not condoning anything. Think of the liar. Okay? We have people in our lives that continually lie to us, and we know it, but we still talk to them. Or the gossiper. How do you forgive the person that shared something that you said not to? I've been on both ends of that. But when I went to my spiritual counselor and I told her something, I said, how do I deal with this? And she said, Patty, do you like the person? I said, yes, I love hanging out with them. She goes, then just don't share anything that you don't want shared. It was that simple. So she said that to me. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm still friends with that person today. It's been years, almost decades. It can help you identify and challenge those limiting beliefs, which can help you shift your perspective and make forgiveness feel more possible. And there's things that are hard to forgive. If someone slept with your husband or your wife, or if someone, murdered your child. But most of what we deal with is from ourselves. We didn't do enough for our sick child or our sick parent. We didn't do enough for our friend to stay in our lives. We were a bad person because we did this. Things that you don't need to carry with you. Okay? You need to develop a plan. Okay? Because forgiveness is a process, and it often requires intentional effort. And that intentional effort for me was 10 years of working with somebody. Not just on unforgiveness of myself, but so many other things that I was holding on to. I mean, all of you know all the book studies that I've done, and all the people I've worked with and met with. And, it's so rewarding to watch somebody overcome whatever's holding them back in life as a coach. And it's rewarding as the client. I can speak that, being a client of a spiritual counselor and of a life coach. I love attacking my goals and my dreams and myself for healing. Okay. We can help you develop a plan for moving forward. Okay. Like setting boundaries, practicing self-care, having those difficult conversations with the person you need to forgive. I have a lot of books. I wonder if I have one right here that I have this little booklet, and it's on communication, and I love it. And it's helped me so much understand. And also church and the Bible helped me. It says to have those hard conversations with people. Confront them. Go to them. But it makes it hard. It makes it hard. Provide accountability. A life coach can provide you accountability for following through on your plan and making progress towards that forgiveness. It can be especially helpful if you tend to get stuck or give up easily. How many of you are out there and you look and you see and you're like, oh, I'm just going to give up? I can tell you that last week I was ready to give up on a lot of things. And I was probably the least coachable I've ever been coachable in my life. And I had to really look at it. But what I did, instead of sitting in it, after I got done with my coaching session, I went home and contacted my spiritual counselor and said, hey, I got to meet with you. I had something going on and I don't know what it is. I don't know how to get past it. And I scheduled a meeting for it. And that's what it's about. You don't have to walk through this alone. You need to talk to people. And people out there saying, oh, I don't have unforgiveness. I don't have this. I don't have that. You aren't perfect. We all have it. We all have it. It's just, what are you going to do about it? You can keep your heart hardened. You can keep pushing people away. I got people that I love dearly, but they got walls up. They got so many brick walls up that you can't get through. So all I do is pray for them. I pray that they open up and they see their part in what is going on. So develop a plan, provide accountability, offer support. Okay, a life coach can offer support, emotional support, encouragement throughout the process. Forgiveness can be challenging, but having someone in your corner can make a big difference. Find that person. Find that person in your corner to create that trust that you can let go of the unforgiveness. Write a letter to the person, even if you don't send it off. A funny story, back in 2018 when I was having some struggles going on in my life with a friend, I was walking around my house, and I'm not a swearer by nature. Like, it takes a lot for me to really drop the F word and that kind of stuff. But I was walking through my apartment going, F you, with my middle finger up. F you, F you, F you, F you, F you, F you. And my spiritual counselor was coming over to get a massage, and she comes into the house. She goes, how are you? I said, I'm great. I just got done releasing all this pent up anger and frustration. She goes, yeah, how'd you do that? And I said, by saying F you, F you, F you. And she goes, okay, now let's try it another way. And she showed me how to build an altar and how to put everything at Jesus's feet that frustrated me, and to pray for that person rather than do it my way. And let me tell you, it made it so much more peaceful. But I just found that funny because I am not a swearer and I don't tell people to F off and that kind of stuff. But, we're all human and we've all done things. You can't look into the eyes of one person in this world that isn't suffering with something that they've done from or was done to them from when they were little, as they were growing up, through their adolescence, through their young adults, through their middle years, and into their elder years. So much has gone to people's graves early because they can't let go. They can't forgive. And I don't want that to be you. So if you're looking to change your life, the Hydrated Life is here for you. I'm willing, to give you a clarity call, free clarity call session, 45-minute session. We'll talk through what's going on, see if we're a good fit, and then, work together in my 10-week program. And there's nothing better than investing in yourself and the feeling that it brings you. None of us are perfect. A life coach doesn't tell you what to do. They pull out of you what you already have inside of you. And that's the best part of it. Where your blind spots are, we show you where they're at. We help you overcome them. Get rid of that anger, that rage, that unforgiveness, the embarrassment, the disappointment that we've caused in people, and overcoming it to live a peaceful, happy, prosperous life that you're craving, that you're desiring. I would ask you, if you're obese, why? Why? You weren't born that way. Why don't you steward your body? And it's not that you're not trying to, it's not, but there's something in you that will not allow you to take charge of your health. There's some unforgiveness of you. That you don't know how to fight for yourself. And that's what a life coach does. They help you to fight for you, for what you want. I said it the other day on a live that I was doing about being paralyzed, that, I struggled a couple weeks ago in my life coaching session. And I just said to the life coach, can I just sit here for once and just wallow in this? And she's like, no, you can't. You got 15 minutes and then you're done. And we need people like that in our corner. Because we don't need disease and illness. We can overcome diabetes. We can overcome obesity. We can overcome self-hatred. We can overcome anger. All these things that I just read off to you here. Bitterness, rage, anger, brawling, all of it. Infidelity, it can all be overcome. It's already forgiven. You just got to walk in it. You got to be open to it. And many of us say, I don't believe in God. Well, you believe in something. We were talking at our discipleship class last night, and even people who say they don't believe cry out. They'll be like, oh God, help me. But then they say they're an atheist. They never cry out, oh, atheist, help me. And it's so true. People going through disease and illness that don't believe, they'll do the sign of the cross. They'll be like, but they'll say, oh, no, I don't believe. Well, why did you just do the sign of the cross? You got to have a belief. You've got to be walking in something greater than you, because you don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. So if you're ready to take the next steps in your life, the Hydrated Life is here for you. It's a great program. It's designed to help people overcome mother wounds, father wounds, sibling wounds, the world wounds, self-inflicted wounds. You name it, I've been through it. I can help you through it. And it would be an honor to help somebody change their life that really needs it and really wants it. So go to thehydratedlife.net and schedule a clarity call. Reach out, personal message on Facebook, Twitter. If you have my phone number, text me. You can call 1-800-758-7202. I'm here to help you live that abundant life that you're looking for, to overcome. So I'm going to leave you with a prayer tonight. I feel that anyone carrying these burdens, this unforgiveness, before I end, I want to say this. When I was delivered in November at the deliverance conference, I was looking at a picture of myself and I went, wow, you're beautiful. And I'd never seen myself that way before. But what also happened at that exact moment, all the burdensomeness that I felt in the back of my head here, all the pain, all the darkness, it all went away in a matter of seconds. And it was the most incredible feeling I've ever felt in my life. And when I have those moments, that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me fighting for myself and for others. Because if it can happen to me, somebody that committed all the deadly sins of the Bible, and I can change, I can be forgiven, and my heart and my soul, I don't have to walk in that burden anymore. Even if somebody throws it back in my face, I can say, yeah, that used to be me. That's not who I am today. I've owned it. I've walked through it. And I do better. I'm not perfect, but I do better. If you're looking for that kind of life, reach out today, because it's an incredible experience to have. I can't define it any other way than a beautiful experience to walk in peace and harmony and love yourself and to love others. So I'm going to close with a prayer tonight, and I will see you on the next live. If you have a topic you want me to discuss, shoot me a message, and I'll research it and I'll bring you on if you want to come on. Any guest is welcome. Anybody's welcome to ask me questions at any time. So just take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And just let peace come over you. And I want you to think about your life. And right now, as you say this prayer, believe that you're forgiven. Believe that you're a new person, that you're changed. And from this moment forward, you're going to walk differently in your life. And you're going to be happy. And you're going to be whole, and you're going to be healthy. Believe that you did the best you could do as a mother, as a spouse, as a caregiver, as a lover, as a coworker, as a boss, as a friend, whatever your role is out there in this world. Just know that you did your best that you knew at that time of what was going on, and that you are forgiven as of this moment. Lord, we just thank you. We come before you today to pray for the gift of forgiveness. We know that we have made mistakes and wronged others, and we ask you for your mercy and your grace, and to help us seek forgiveness and to offer it to others as well. Please help us let go of any anger or resentment that we may be holding on to, and to find peace in our hearts through forgiving others and ourselves. We know that forgiving others can be difficult, but with your help, we know that all things are possible. Please help us to understand the power of forgiveness and the healing that it can bring to ourselves and to those around us. Let us be an example, Lord, of your love and your forgiveness to others, showing compassion and kindness, even when it is difficult. We ask for your guidance, Lord, your wisdom as we seek forgiveness and offer it to others. May your light shine upon us this week, and may we always follow in your teachings of forgiveness, of love, and of compassion. In your holy name we pray, amen. Have a blessed night. I pray you got some wisdom, some knowledge, and some healing from tonight, and that as you move forward, you know you're forgiven and to forgive others. Have a blessed week. I'll see you again. Bye.